All right, happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. So happy. It's the best day of the week because you could do whatever the hell you want to tonight for those of us who don't have to work on the weekend or have much going on the weekend, especially during a bye week. For me, anyways. And then you've got the next 2 days to do whatever the hell you want. It's great. It's great. And my kids are going to be camping all weekend, so we're going to be kidless. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Yo, welcome, everybody. Welcome. Tuss Talk with Ty. Wait, what? Let's go. I'm watching live while live. Huh? Live doing what, Paul Raymond, sir? All right. Bye week up for the Razorbacks. We got some, this is an interesting weekend for the SEC. We'll talk about some of those matchups. It's a bye week, right? I mean, we have a little bit to talk about. I'm pondering the question, is Arkansas better after the bye week? Are they going to be better? Now, better doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be super reflective on your wins and losses, but as a team, are they going to be better? Are we going to see better performance on the offensive side of things? Is the defense, now that they're getting healthy in the secondary? Bumper Pool, we know he's been playing a little banged up, right? He's getting a week off. What does that mean from here on out for the Arkansas Razorbacks? Because you've got Auburn at Auburn, by the way, a place Arkansas has struggled to win at following this bye week. You've got Arkansas hosting Liberty, LSU, and Ole Miss. Those are the last 3 home games. And then you're on the road against Mizzou. Looking at my calendar. Why I put it up above my door, I have no idea. And yeah, I mean, go ahead. Why not? We'll probably ask this again next week, but how do you guys feel about these final 5 games, right? How do you feel? What's going on? How do you feel? How you feeling about it? Please read, if you have any questions or comments, do so in the comment section. I also have, for Patreon supporters, by the way, 43 of you, and I really hope you guys stick it out because I'm experimenting with some stuff on Patreon. And don't tell my wife. Don't tell my wife. I'm just kidding. But, yeah, got some stuff going on. I uploaded a pretty interesting audio clip for you guys. It's about 3-4 minutes long, I think. So that's exclusive only to Patreon supporters. And remember to link your Discord with Patreon, and you get even more access to stuff that nobody else has access to. So shout out to Apex Tattoo Studio. If you want some ink done, you guys know. If you're trying to get some dadgum ink done, go to Apex Tattoo Studio. I've been telling you. Rogers, Arkansas. They're located at, actually, it's 615 West Oak Street in Rogers, Arkansas. 72756 is their zip code. Give them a call today. Get set up. Get you a nice, fancy Razorback running through the A. I think that is the best. For whatever reason, that's the most rare Arkansas tattoo I see. It's that old school, mid-90s, the Razorback running through the A. I love that. It's indicative, too, when you think about how Arkansas kicks things off, right? What do they do before kickoff? They run through the A, right? And that to me is symbolic. So have Apex Tattoo Studio hook you up. Give them a call. 479-278-2694. Again, that's 479-278-2694. So go get that done. Yeah, Hogville yesterday, we had Otis Kirk on. There was some really good stuff there. If you have not listened to that, he got us caught up on recruiting. We, a little bit, couple surprising things that he talked about with recruiting that, whoa, what? He's doing what now? He's committing where? So go watch that. That was good stuff. It was funny because we were like, yeah, we're going to do 30 minutes. Well, that ended up being like a 50-minute live. I do this all the time. I've just got to stop saying how long I'm going to go live for. I'm just going to stop. If it's 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes. If it's 45 minutes, it's 45 minutes. If it's an hour plus, it is what it is. I'm going to give up doing that. I need to stop. I don't know why I do that. All right. Hoo-yah hog, says Kelly Williams. Yeah, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Make sure you please share the content. If you're not gonna do, hey, listen, if you're not gonna go to Patreon, if you're not gonna do that, if you're not gonna go sign up for Discord, right? If you're not gonna like the post, I don't know why you wouldn't like this post or this video, then at least share. Try to share it at the very least. That's all I'm saying. Share the content if you have any questions. So I'm curious what Paul Raymond does. He says, "Let's go, baby. I'm watching live while live." I don't think he got back with us on that. Tripp says, "Time to win out." Oh, okay. I want them to go 5-0 so my exact preseason cred can hit. Yeah, well, if they win out, then my original too early prediction would be correct, but I wouldn't be able to I couldn't claim that, right? Because that was a too early prediction, and I went back. I said 8-4. Which is, they're both still on the table, right? I'm not entirely sure if they can pull it off. Are you talking about winning out? Yeah, that's going to be tough. I agree. That is going to be really hard. Yo, Ty, what's up? Scott Swindle, how you doing, man? Cameron Gray comes in and just hits us with a basketball. Come on, Cameron. Fayetteville and Springdale playing tonight inside Reynolds Stadium. They're playing where the Hogs play tonight. 7:30 kickoff is what I was told. My goal is to go. If I do go, I'm going to get there a little early. So if you guys are playing, listen, if you plan on going, I'll be there. I'm probably going to be roaming. I don't know where I'll be. I may sit and chill up in the stands. I think I can walk on the field. I don't know. I say that. Someone's going to tackle my fat ass. Get off the sideline, sir. I like basketball more than football. I'm sorry. Well, we're not here talking about basketball, damn it. I'm kidding. There's so much hype and excitement around basketball. What I'm afraid of is a lot of fans, if Arkansas's not doing what they want them to do in football, then they just move on. And it's weird. And they do the same thing with basketball. Well, who's ready for baseball season, right? Like, come on, right? Like, we've still got 5 games left. It's going to be exciting. We could be. Well, you still got to play the season, Cameron. Don't be one of those guys. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy who's trying to hit me on something, right? Like, yeah, you still got to play the games. You got a lot of newness. You got a lot of newbies. Tripp says, could you imagine how electric DWRRS Donald W. Reynolds Stadium could be if Arkansas spoiled the Rebels' win streak, if they keep that up? Yeah. Yeah, that would be absolutely incredible. I agree. I would love that because Arkansas, it feels like Arkansas they owe Ole Miss one. For sure. They owe Auburn one. If anyone left on this season, they owe it to Auburn, right? They owe it to Auburn. That's what they do. The Ole Miss game is going to be telling. Well, I mean, hell, you still got LSU. I mean, don't forget LSU, and don't forget going at Auburn. People seem to think that that's like an automatic win because Auburn's not very good. I've got news for you. Arkansas hasn't won there in a decade. Okay, so you've played them 5 times. This will be 5 tries, right? You're 0 for 4 in the last decade, right? Am I doing that right? So Arkansas has struggled playing and winning there, even when you feel like Arkansas might be as good as Auburn during that timeline, right? Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, the Ole Miss game's going to be telling, but I also think if you can get by Auburn and Liberty, god dang, you've got to be feeling pretty good. You've got to be feeling pretty good about what you're capable of doing because I think Liberty's pretty good, and just the fact that you're able to go on the road and beat Auburn would be huge because Arkansas doesn't do that very often there. I'm usually at work when you go live. I'm on my lunch break right now. Okay, but you said you were live. Paul, I thought maybe you had your own thing you were doing, your own gig, and I was going to give you a shout out, man. Basketball team took a while to gel last year. Exactly. I saw them lose in Little Rock to a lower level team, and not to mention they got blown out in Tulsa by Oklahoma. Just saying, like, hold on. Temper your expectations for basketball. I'm not saying that And I'm going to start on the basketball stuff next week for here in Hogville, definitely here for sure next week. We're going to get in on some basketball, and I'm going to give you guys my too early pick. God, I don't even have the schedule in front of me. And the way they did the scheduling this year was so bizarre. So, yeah, August, we know they went 4-0 in the European Tour. Yeah, red-white game happened on Sunday. They've got Rogers State on the 24th. Wait, where's the calendar at? Oh, wow. So 24th is on Monday. And then they're at Texas. Again, these are exhibition games. On the road on the 29th. And then officially they start their season November 7th. So I suspect right around that time we'll be talking it's going to be a good mix in the shows, both here in Hogville. We're going to be doing football and basketball on both Hogville and on here, Tuss Talk with Ty, where we're at right now currently. North Dakota State, I don't know anything about. And this is the thing, too. You get into these early non-con games. You've got Fordham on the 11th, South Dakota State on the 16th. Of course, you get the Maui Invitational that starts on November 21st. That's a 3-day affair. You're going to start off with Louisville, and then you end up playing either Texas Tech or Creighton. And then you're back at it. When you come back from that, the 28th, you play Troy, San Jose State on December 3rd, and then UNC Greensboro on December 6th. That's a Tuesday, December 6th. Oh, I'll be out of town for that, actually. Oh, I just realized that. I won't be back until Arkansas plays Oklahoma on December 10th. So I'm going to be gone. So there's going to be a week there where I will not be available because I'll be not available. I'll just say that. So then by the time I come back, we'll probably be discussing what Oklahoma does with Arkansas. And that's, again, it's the same damn place in Tulsa, the Box Center. And then after that, you got a 7-day break for Bradley. Okay, we went down that pretty good. When do you start conference play? I know it's typically in late December. Yeah, there it is. At LSU, December 28th. At LSU. I hate the way, like, it is what it is. Everyone's got to deal with this. It happens all the time. But it sucks that, like, they've got Baton Rouge. They got to go to Baton Rouge on the 28th. And then they're home for Missouri. And then they're back on the road for Auburn. And then they're back home for Alabama. And then they're back on the road against Vandy, on the road against Mizzou. And then they're home back-to-back against Ole Miss, LSU. That's a really – you would like for them to kind of start off with I know that's typical. I know they do that often, but we're so spoiled with football getting these games consecutively in Fayetteville. January 28th, Arkansas at Baylor. Oh, my God, on the 28th. That's going to be something else. I always root for the Hogs in every sport. Well, that's good, Cameron. That's good. We owe every team one, Ty. We owe them all several. Well, you're not wrong. Mizzou, like, you feel like you still owe them, even though you beat them last year, you still got to be a little grumpy about how Arkansas hasn't been able to take care of Mizzou in football like they should have. But then when you consider the Chad Morris years, it is what it is. Like, Mizzou should never have won. You shouldn't be in the situation you're at. But then again, when you think about how bad the program is, yeah, you absolutely should, right? Or how bad the program was at the time, for the last several years up until Sam Pittman came in. Oh, my gosh. Oh, man, some of these comments, you guys are killing me. No, I was texting and driving. Don't be like me. Be better. Says Paul. Yeah, don't text and drive, please. I want to say if we can dial up some pressure. So here we go. Brody's right back. He's like, forget all this basketball talk. I'm over that. Let's talk football. I want to say if we can dial up some pressure and make Ashford be a passer, I think he's got Anthony Richards type accuracy issues. There will be some chances. All right, so Brody doesn't want to talk basketball. We're gonna get into football. I again don't know how long we're gonna carry this on for, but there are some things I wanted to point out. Number one, I uploaded an audio file for Patreon today. Did that earlier. Took me forever to get that done. it's a short video or short audio. It's not a video, it's audio. Just talking about the Heisman situation at Arkansas, right? Now, I don't want to give anything away. If you're a Patreon supporter, go listen to that audio. But someone asked me about the chances of KJ Jefferson getting into the Heisman conversation. So this is what I will say. I think it's actually, interestingly enough, a good segue into this YouTube Live, because here's something that I've noticed about Arkansas. Well, in that BYU game, and what did Sam Pittman say about the passing game going into this game? Or what did he say afterwards, right? He said that, well, I told Kendall, we're going to open it up. We're going to throw the ball more. Look at how more effective the Razorbacks were in total offense, right? Against BYU on the road. Now, you're going to say, well, Ty, but BYU's defense is not great. No, they're not. They give up points. Notre Dame scored, 28 points on BYU, and they're not good on offense. They're not. But Arkansas scored almost double that, right? They scored 52 points at BYU. You know, that's all we heard. Well, the altitude and the injuries on here and there, and KJ, he missed last week, and what are they going to do? The offensive line has been suspect in the pass blocking and the pass pro. They haven't been great. They haven't been consistent. I've been a critic of their offense not being consistent, but I've also been to some degree, I've defended Kendall Briles when he deserves to be defended. This game, they open up the offense and they rack up an insane amount of total offense. So much so, I don't know where all my numbers went. They're all scattered around here. But going back, like Arkansas offensively, it's one of the best weeks they've ever had under Kendall Briles. Now, I don't know if it is the best offensive. I think it's the most points they've scored in a game. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know that they've scored 52 points, have they? I know they've come close. They scored 48 or 49. The point being, I'm not really concerned about that. The point being that Arkansas looked really damn good on the road against a salty secondary. BYU, their secondary was ranked, I think, 24th in the country in passing yards allowed per game. Right? That's not half bad. That's not half bad. Now you're going to say, well, but okay, who did I say Cincinnati? If I did, I'm sorry. I meant to say BYU. Who's BYU played? Like, why are we sitting here talking about what BYU was able to accomplish on defense? Well, for starters, this is against Baylor. This is after playing Baylor. This is after playing Wyoming. This is after playing Notre Dame, teams that have more talent, right? Teams that have more talent. Does South Florida have more talent than BYU? We know they've got Florida talent on that roster. I don't know, probably the lower end talent. South Florida's not exactly like the best example. I understand that, but they're 1-6. They're not very good. But BYU though, I think, again, they did lose to Oregon. Sure, Oregon scored 41 points on them. But you take that game out of the equation, the most points they'd given up on the year was, 28, if you take the Oregon game out, and that was to Notre Dame, through 7 games. That's really not half bad when you consider, again, they played Baylor, they played Oregon, they played Notre Dame, and now they played Arkansas. Arkansas scores 52 points on BYU. So, with what they did on offense, with what Kendall Briles was instructed to do, and it also brings up, like, who really has control of what's going on the offensive side of things. You guys remember the last season, and for a small portion of this year, one of my biggest concerns, one of my biggest gripes about Arkansas was that they were so damn – they were the same team on first down. It's always a run. It's always it's always a run play, and I'm sure some of that's scripted, right? But it's throughout the entire game. Last year, it's like every first down, every new set of downs or continued part of the drive, the next fresh set of downs after conversion or a big play, what do? First down, they run the ball. BYU, they mixed it up quite a bit. Something else they did, and I don't know why more people aren't talking about this, Arkansas had an even amount of pass plays and run plays in this game. How often have they done that this year? They haven't. Arkansas, KJ Jefferson was 29 of 40. And again, they had 644 total yards of offense. That's the most offense Kendall's ever had. I didn't know it was that high, actually. I don't know how. I knew it was 600. I didn't realize it was 644. Dear God. 42 rushing attempts. 40 passing attempts. 82 plays, and it's damn near split right down the middle. They were balanced. They threw the ball, and I don't know that 40 times a game is the answer. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm not saying that they need to throw the ball 40 times a game. But listen, if that's how you get there, right? And we all know, like, the secondary is still going to have issues. We're going to get to that in a minute, why I think they could possibly be better. And I think it's fairly obvious, but it's still something worth pointing out. But I loved how balanced they were. BYU, keyed in on KJ, and this was another conversation that I've had with a couple other people. Like, KJ wasn't that effective in the run game. He must be hurt. Yeah, he's playing dinged up. And Sam Pittman, pretty sure he confirmed that. He's playing with a little bit, something's going on, a little dinged up. Might be something that requires minor surgery in the offseason. I don't know. Of course, we're not going to know anything until, I don't know, after KJ's not been here for a couple of years. Then maybe we'll know. But it's clear that he definitely needs this bye week, right? I think what was happening was BYU was keyed in on KJ Jefferson. They were absolutely keyed in on KJ. And that opened up the entire offense. And that's why they were more confident in throwing the football. Look at the game Matt Landers has. Not a single touchdown all year. 3 in that game alone. Maybe it was true. Maybe there was some truth in what we, the media, were seeing in fall camp. Maybe these receivers are capable of doing a lot more. Now, they got off to a rough start dropping balls. Warren Thompson is clearly – we found out Warren Thompson was actually not missing time because of injury, but something else off the field going on, a disciplinary action. I don't actually know if did he confirm – someone might have to bail me out on that. Did he confirm that Warren was going to come back for Auburn? I'd be curious about that. That might be a good question for Sam next week. But you could tell, like, there was more faith in what Arkansas could do on the offensive side of things, or when you're talking about the passing offense. We knew they were going to run the ball effectively. Nobody would be shocked if we didn't tell you anything else, like you hadn't watched the game, but all we told you was, Arkansas had 277 yards rushing. Your first question would be, okay, yeah, great, but did they win, right? And then you follow that up with, yeah, they threw the ball for 367 yards. That would be the surprising thing. And then you would also say, you know what, for the first time this year, they're actually damn near split down the middle. They were balanced. And something I told you guys last week, and I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks, how you beat teams, right? How you beat teams is obviously they're going to have to outscore it, but it's also slowing things down a little bit. It's slowing things down and keeping their offense on the sidelines, which Arkansas managed to do. Arkansas did manage to do. They didn't dominate the time of possession, but in the fourth quarter, it was the fourth quarter, right? Yeah. It's fourth quarter. Arkansas ran 16 plays for 73 yards, 10 minutes and 2 seconds off the clock. I don't know. Again, it's something else no one else is talking about, and I don't know why. I don't know why no one else is mentioning this. Like, that's a big deal. Arkansas showed when they need something from their offense on that drive, and that need is, we need you to eat up the clock. We need to put this thing away. They're able to do it. Now, again, BYU, and it's hard because it's hard to look at this game and say, this is all the proof you need that they can get it done, because BYU is not a strong defensive football team. Someone's going to come into the comments section. Either you already have or someone will later after the fact. BYU's defense sucks. So, okay, fine. But their pass defense, after playing several other good football teams, a couple teams are pretty decent at throwing the football around. They were top 25 in pass defense. They didn't give up a lot of yards through the air. They game planned pretty well. I've actually caught BYU play. I did not see the Notre Dame game, but I saw a little bit of the Baylor game, and I saw them play. I saw highlights of the USF game. I watched a little bit of the Baylor game, and I watched the Oregon game. And the Oregon game was not pretty for them on defense either. They had, I think Oregon ended up with, it wasn't a lot. It was like 400 and it was under 450 yards if I remember right. But they only threw the ball for 227 yards, but they didn't throw it around. They didn't throw it around a lot. It was like I was just looking at this stat like last night. Wasn't a lot of passing attempts. But again, Arkansas opens things up, and they just look so much more balanced and so much more effective on the offensive side of the ball. It was very impressive, and I think that is a huge key. So, eating up time of possession, keeping the opposing offense on the sidelines. But they also showed, you know what, we can also go down the field and score rather quickly. And again, you got to remember this is on the road, hostile environment. I do wonder, and this was a good question someone asked last week, would the outcome been slightly different had this been a night game? Possibly, but I don't think much of a difference because Arkansas did such a good job preparing for that noise. I'll tell you, when they're inside the indoor facilities, I've been in there when they blast those speakers. Oh my God, it's like something out of a nightmare. It sounds so hellish and so loud. It doesn't even sound like a crowd. It sounds like you're walking into the pit of hell. It's so loud in there when they get that going. And so they were prepared for the noise, and I thought they handled it really well. The other side of this, when you're moving forward and you're talking about, okay, so how else do they get better? Clearly getting healthy is the big key here. Getting everybody back outside of Catalon and Slusher, of course. But getting, both the Johnsons back, getting Slusher back, this is a big deal. Kari and Jaden Johnson. Chavis, they say he's the furthest away, but it's likely, and Sam Pittman said they're all going to play. Now, he says Chavis is the furthest away. I don't know what that means. He's going to play, but maybe he's going to be a guy that rotates, or we're going to use him just on special teams or something. I don't know. Chavis, I think, is behind he might be one of your better cover guys behind McLaughlin. I mean, he really might be. I don't know that I've seen much out of either Johnson that tells me that they're capable of being every down, zone, or man cover guys. But Chavis has also given up some plays, so I don't know. But I think the key on defense is health, and it's these guys coming back. That's such a big deal to have all these guys back, and Slusher obviously being one of the biggest returns for the Razorbacks for this game for Auburn. Now, some of you have already kind of broken down Auburn a little bit. I'm not there. I'm going to wait. I mean, yeah, I've done research. I've been looking, and I've watched Auburn play this year. But they are going to have their hands full with that quarterback. That kid can run, but they're going to have to force him to run the ball. I agree. So what does that mean, though? If Arkansas is getting better, what does that mean for the rest of the season? What is on the table for the Razorbacks in these final 5 games? Is winning out? And I said this in the audio log that I posted on Patreon today. I said this. We often talk about tables, like what's at the table. What's at the table for Arkansas? That's something I love saying, right? What have we pulled the chair back, and who is taking a seat at the table? Is winning out on? Have they taken their seat at the table? Not saying that they're there. They're sitting. You're sitting right next to that, right? Yeah, they're at the table. They're at the table. Are they within reach? I don't know. See, we're going to chairs. Maybe we should stick to what's on the table, like food, right? Because you're not going to sit in their lap. They're not going to come sit in your lap. So maybe the analogy should just be what's on the table, what's within reach on the table. But I certainly think that I do believe that Arkansas could absolutely win out. If they take the similar or same approach they did against BYU, where Sam Pittman just says, you know what, Kendall, you run your offense and throw the ball a little more. Obviously, like I thought the other side of the 50, when they were on BYU side of the field, they were a lot better. They looked better this week, or last week, sorry. They looked a lot better, and proud of them, right? I mean, I thought this was his best called game. And then I hate that last drive ended the way that it did. Arkansas not able to – I mean, that was just such a weird waste of a possession. I'm not really sure what you're trying to accomplish. The game is so far out of hand. Why not just take a knee? Don't risk anybody getting hurt. I know that there are different takes on that. Even Otis and Dudley have kind of different takes on what to do on that drive. We all do. We all like to pretend like we're sitting in the driver's seat and we're driving the car, but that's Kendall's car, right? At the end of the day, it's his car, and that was the decision that he made. I don't know why you even run KJ. I don't know why. I mean, you are risking hurting that guy. He plays a certain way, so why the hell? And you know this as a coordinator and as a head coach, you know this. Why would you let him risk injuring himself? Well, I don't care if he got a bye week coming up. Who cares? We all know that doesn't matter. He's just came out of what we believe to be a concussion protocol. You're going to tell me that you're going to risk this guy doing some more damage? Apparently, he's got a shoulder thing going on right now. It's not serious. Doesn't sound like it's serious, but they want to. I think was that KJ they were talking about? He's got a shoulder. He's got something going on. They want to kind of rest his shoulder a little bit. So you don't want to further any injuries, right? If he's already playing dinged up coming into the BYU game, why risk that? I don't know. We could chalk that up all day long. I don't know whose call that was. You know, I don't know if Sam ever said that it was his, but that's dangerous. You know, I don't want to imagine. I mean, Malik Hornsby against Auburn, can he win that game? Does he win against Liberty, who's pretty salty on the defensive side of the ball? LSU is so much better than I thought they were. Ole Miss is better than I thought they were. I still don't buy that they're a top 10 program. They're about to run into a buzzsaw. We were talking about that last night in our Discord live that we did. Myself and Hawes and a couple other people that were in on that. Congratulations to the XP gainers there. I forgot. Rob R won last week. I don't remember everyone else that won. Dante Marine won last night on an XP spin. The lead is starting. There's starting to be some separation there, and we're not even to Auburn yet. So what does that mean for the rest of the season, though? Let's get back to that. What can Arkansas? Are they capable of winning out? Yes. Are they capable of losing out? Yeah. Yeah, they are. There's absolutely – that's on the table. You don't want that to be within reach, but it is. It is. With this defense, you got to be kidding me, right? But it's like it's two sides of the same coin. If you're getting healthy and they're getting better, which I do think they are, and again, the follow-up question to the title of this stream is, but how much better are they? How much better can they be? And I don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. Auburn's going to be an interesting test. I think Liberty's going to be an interesting test because, again, they're pretty salty on the defensive side of the ball. Every one of these games are going to be good tests because Arkansas doesn't feel like they're playing at that level we all feel like they could play at, right? A lot of questions need to be answered, but I would love to see them have a similar outcome in terms of offense and how they're able to do things. And by the way, the defense at the end of the game did a great job. I mean, they found ways to get off the field, and hey, kudos, right? So they are at the table. 3-2, 2-3, 1-4. Okay, these are all things that could happen. I'm not interested in. I don't want to give my final five. I don't want to say here's what I think, right? I don't want to do that because it's so bizarre this late in the year where I'm like, I don't know. Because I really don't know what to think of LSU in terms of, them coming to Fayetteville and how good or bad are they really. It kind of feels like the jury is still out on how good are they really, though, year one under Coach Kelly. Ole Miss, they're about to run through a buzzsaw. The second half of their season is going to be brutal. Are they going to be brought down to earth? I think they are. So what does that mean for the Arkansas Ole Miss matchup in Fayetteville? I hope that's a night game. And then you've got at Mizzou. By the way, Mizzou at home, I mean, they should have beat Georgia, right? Boy, that Tennessee-Georgia game, oh, my God, that's going to be huge. Oh, my goodness. You're going to want to watch that, huh? Tennessee and Georgia. I want there to be more parity in college football. Parity, not parity. I want there to be more I want to see different teams at the top. I just hate that it's in the SEC. I hate that it's Tennessee, man. I hate to see that. But at the same time, it's like, well, good for them. Heupel's got them running. They're playing really good football. And I think, too, Tennessee's a good 2 years ahead of Arkansas in recruiting. They just are. Tennessee has always recruited pretty well. They're always in the top 20, top 15. They're always floating around there. They're a year or two ahead of Arkansas in recruiting. They just are. And I think Heupel, as an offensive mind, I mean, Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they hit a home run with Heupel. It certainly seems to be that way. Now, as the year carries on, we know that's one of the toughest parts about the SEC. The week-to-week grind will catch up to you. And if you don't have the quality depth, well, you'll fall flat on your face. But Arkansas and Auburn crawling to this bye week. This is going to be huge. But I do think Arkansas, to answer the video's question, the stream's question about Arkansas Razorback football getting better after bye week, I do think they are. I do think they're going to be better. Again, the question to that, though, the follow-up is how much better. And that I just don't know yet. I think the possibility is absolutely that this could be maybe BYU is a sign of things to come from the offense. And the defense, with them getting healthy on the back end, right, in the secondary, that could just do wonders, right? That could do wonders for this team. Auburn not having Bo Nix shockingly is good for Arkansas, in my opinion. He shredded every time we played for some strange reason. He's doing pretty good at Oregon. Ty, I'm here. What's up, Josh? How you doing, man? We love you, Ty. I love you, too. I love you, too, Mike. I love you, too. Look at you with that moderator tag next to your name, Mike. You got to love it. What's up, Rhett? 5-0. Coming in hot, says Rhett. Hey, I love the optimism, man. I hope they get there. And it's, are the odds more likely they go 5-0 or 0-5? What's more likely to happen? God, that's hard. For me, that is so insanely hard to predict right now. I don't know. I don't even want to pose the question, and I don't want to answer it. I would probably side with going 5-0 would be more likely. But I don't think that happens. I think they end up probably splitting these last 5, either 2-3 or 3-2. I think 3-2 is a good. That's a sexy spot. It's not as sexy as 4-1 or 5-0. I think 4-1 is likely. I feel like 4-1 is almost as likely as 3-2. My hangups, I think. Well, I've kind of got 3. Again, winning at Auburn is just. I don't care how bad they are. I don't care what's going on with their coaching staff. I don't care. This team, Auburn, it's like Arkansas's just cursed. It's like the A&M game. It's so similar. Years where you think, well, Arkansas's better than A&M. This year's a good example of that. And look what happened. I've told y'all all offseason that's why I struggled with that game. I've said that for years here. Everywhere I've been, any show I've been on, when people ask me, what do you think of this game, that game, this game, and I go to the A&M game and the Auburn game, and I say the same thing. We don't win at Auburn. Hell, we have a hard time beating Auburn, period, whether it's in Fayetteville or wherever. It could be in Little Rock. It could be in Fayetteville. It could be neutral site, and it could be in Auburn. It just doesn't matter. Arkansas could be twice as good as Auburn, and for whatever reason, there's some sort of Auburn fans would probably call it divine intervention. I think it's just bad officiating. You go back to 2020. Last year, you're banged up. This year, it's like those excuses, hopefully the officiating part, that's just a general rule in the SEC. It doesn't seem to matter who they're officiating. That's something everybody has to deal with. But you can't have the crawling to the bye week excuse this year. They're both coming out of bye weeks, so they've just got to do it. And then for me, like Liberty, Arkansas should win. That's a game you should not lose. LSU is one that I'm hung up on. I don't know. Like, they are so much better than I thought. I love that game's in Fayetteville, and I love that you have Ole Miss in Fayetteville. How good is Ole Miss really? We're going to know a hell of a lot more about them in the next 3 weeks by the time Arkansas plays them. But, I mean, there's legitimately Auburn you should beat, right? Liberty you should beat. LSU, I'm going to side with you should beat. Ole Miss right now I would say is your L, and then Mizzou you should win. Yeah. So if they do the things again, if what we believe to be true coming out of the bye week in terms of them being a better football team coming out of the bye week because of what they decided to do against BYU, if that's the new norm moving forward on offense, which is actually evening this thing out, 40 run, 40 pass, that should be their damn goal every week. I know too it matters, who you play and how they play defense. It matters, right? You have to adjust to the defense you're playing against. If they're completely stuffing the run, well, then you've got to open up and throw the ball more. But your goal should be that your offense is so effective that they can't shut either one of these two things down, especially with the veer and shoot, with Kendall Browse's version of the RPO. And then you tack on the health. I think special teams is starting to play a little bit better. Reed Bauer is the guy that's going to punt from here on out. You're going from a guy that's lucky to punt the ball 32 yards downfield to Reed Bauer, who's probably going to average, I don't know, not quite double that, but 40, 42, 43 yards a punt. He's a pretty accurate punter too, I believe. I seem to remember him pinning a couple teams back multiple times last year, I think. Don't quote me on that. But Reed, we've seen him. I mean, his only punt at BYU went 60-something yards. Now, yeah, I'm sure altitude played a factor into that. But, I feel like the evaluations that they made early on didn't work. I think they've made kind of a half-season adjustment, and we're slowly starting to see them. They're slowly, if you're watching my hands here, they're slowly coming together. And maybe the center nucleus, the thing that brings it all together, is all these fixes they've made along the way. And now they've got their bye week at the perfect time, and now everything's clicking. The gears are all moving at the same time. The rotation's perfect. They've got it down. They might be getting Torrin Carter back the last couple of games of the year. I've got mixed feelings about that. If your secondary still as bad as they are and you're dropping 8, it may not matter that Torrin Carter's back, but it will have an impact, I think, to some degree. But you're getting healthier coming out of the bye. Everybody can say that. But the thing I would argue, Arkansas is going into their bye week feeling better, I think, on both sides of the ball. They made the adjustments against BYU, and we saw – I feel like had they called a similar game, had KJ been healthy for Mississippi State, had they played the way they did – I get it, they played BYU, not Mississippi State. That matters. But had they had the preparation and everything that they did in opening up the offense, which Sam Pittman admitted to going into the BYU game, had they made these adjustments and KJ be healthy against Mississippi State and then going back to Alabama, I feel like more points at the very least would be on the board for Arkansas. And then, again, you combine that with what's happening in the secondary with these guys getting healthy, with the possibility of Torrin Carter coming back on the defensive line. Guys there's no more excuses about finding their role and adjusting and getting used to what their role is on defense. That's out the window. You've got 7 games under your belt and a bye week. It's time to put it all together and go, right? So, yeah, I think they're better. I think they're going to be better. That doesn't mean they go 5-0. Doesn't mean they go 4-1. Doesn't mean they go 3-2. They could be sub 500, right? They could come out of this season, not even make a bowl game. That could happen. Yes, that's at the table. I don't think that's what happens, though. I think they go bowling, and I'm feeling a hell of a lot better. We'll see if they can get past it, though, right? How long you been live? 46 minutes. You just don't want to lose so much. We begin to lose future recruits. Well, yeah, but, not – losing absolutely can impact recruiting, but you've also got to look at it, who's leaving, who is being told that's being recruited, like, look, man, you're the fix that we need. And I'm going to tell you that is absolutely a recruiting tactic, okay? That is absolutely a recruiting tactic. Hey, we're struggling this year because we need you at this position. You're talking about the secondary. Look at the secondary. Look at linebacker. Look at this class in the linebacker and in the secondary. Like, some pretty good mix up there. Arkansas will be the straw that breaks Harson's back. God, I hope, Brad. I certainly hope so. Tusky says 4-1 finish. I absolutely can't stand to see the 3-man front after the bye week, though. If the secondary is bad, then you have to get after the court. Yeah, and we've seen Barry Odom just have I don't know, does not want to risk doing anything other than dropping 8 back if he has no faith in his secondary, and it's cost him. I mean, you've had, 1 sack in 3 weeks with how many TFLs? 3, 4? That's horrible. But it's a result of them having no faith in their secondary, dropping 8 back and only rushing 3. Most likely, right? I think Mizzou will be toughest defense. Defensively, I think Ole Miss, I think Mizzou will be tough. Mizzou is good on defense. I'm 50-50 on LSU and Ole Miss, so I think the worst we do these last 5 games is 3-2. I think that's the worst? 3-2? Austin, that's yeah. No way we lose to Liberty, says Josh. Shouldn't. You shouldn't lose to Liberty. You shouldn't lose to Liberty. Now, I'm not saying you need to take Liberty lightly. I'm not saying that at all because they are 6-1, right? They gave Wake Forest at the time, who was ranked top 20 in college football, they gave them a ball game. They lost that game by a point. Now, they don't have a win under their belt right now that looks great. But they beat Gardner-Webb 21-20. I mean, come on, right? They had another one that was questionable. Akron, they won 21-12. At Southern Miss, they won 29-27. They're getting it done on the defensive side of the ball, without a doubt. Liberty's getting it done on the defensive side of the ball. They're not a great scoring offense. Arkansas, too big, too fast, too strong, too much talent. They should absolutely overpower. Ironically enough, they got to play BYU at home tomorrow. Might be a game worth watching if you have access to it. And then they got to turn around on the 5th. I say turn around. They've got a little bit there. But that's their next opponent is Arkansas. So BYU, BYU. I was talking about that. BYU plays Liberty this weekend and are favored by 6.5. Do you think they cover? Well, that's a good one. Actually, I don't know because Liberty is salty on defense. Now I think BYU. I'd probably take BYU. I don't know, 9.5, 10. I feel like that's going to be a 10-point. I think that's going to be a 10-point dub for BYU, somewhere in there. Y'all play Ole Miss at home. Yeah, we do. If I said on the road, I apologize. I will. It is a live show. I will have gaffes from time to time. If KB and the offense can continue to execute, it's going to be a fun last stretch, even if the D stinks it up. Yeah, I think if the D stinks it up, you probably are looking at 2-3, 3-2. Your offense is going to have to score regardless, they're going to have to score about 38, 40, 42 points a week, realistically. Yeah, for sure. All right, we're coming up shy of an hour. I've got to go pick my kids up from school, so the cigar is going to have to wait. But I will be at the Fayetteville-Springdale game. That's going to be inside the Razorbacks' home stadium. It's going to be at Donald Reynolds Stadium tonight. So if you guys are there, I doubt any of you are, but hey, if you're in the neighborhood, I'll be there, and I'm pretty excited about it. Of course, I'm going to be there as media, but you guys know I did play football at Fayetteville, so and I'm not very. I love the Springdale Bulldogs. Who are we kidding? Yeah, the Red Dogs. Yeah, why not? I'm not one of those guys that hangs on to that sort of stuff. I'm just not. Honestly, I hope Springdale does good. I lived here and I know people that have kids that go to school at both Springdale and Harbor and hope they do well, right? But when they play the Fayetteville Bulldogs, I gotta give them a little bit of a hard time. I'll be rooting for the Bulldogs, but it'll be fun to watch, right? Either team, it'll be fun to watch. Springdale's not very good this year. Fayetteville's okay. I feel like this should be a routing. I feel like Fayetteville should probably win this thing pretty easily, but it'll be fun regardless. Woo Pig Baby undefeated this week, y'all. Well, hey, yeah, no one. The Razorbacks will definitely not win or lose this weekend, so you'll have that. You get to watch all the college football you want, and then get ready for Auburn. All right, that is going to do it. Again, if you're a Patreon supporter, go wander on over to Tuss Talk with Ty Patreon and listen to that audio message, me responding to a DM that I got about Arkansas or KJ Jefferson being in the Heisman conversation. So go listen to that. And, if you haven't already, too, go check out Discord. Go join the Tuss Talk with Ty Discord page, right? Good stuff. Good stuff, as always. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Woo Pig, and I'll see you next week. Go Hogs.